Hey, what is this whole 80-20 rule? Look, we've heard people talk about it, but how do we actually apply it and how do we focus on it in our own lives? I'm going to tell you right now on this episode of the Unlock Success Podcast.
This is the Unlock Success Podcast. We're helping entrepreneurs around the world dive deep into the keys you need to shatter excuses, believe in yourself, and help you achieve your highest goals. Here's your host, 8-figure entrepreneur and the living legend of internet marketing, Anthony Morrison.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Anthony Morrison here, and welcome to another episode of the Unlock Success Podcast, where I hope my message is helping you to break through some barriers and have massive success, not only in your business, but also in other ways in your life. Today, we're going to dive deep into the concept that 80% of my listeners have heard, but only 20% have probably ever thought to apply what I'm teaching. You know, obviously, I'm talking about the 80-20 principle that's extremely popular in business and management circles, which states that 20% of your output produces about 80% of your results. The concept dates all the way back to 1906 from an Italian economist who noticed that 20% of the pea pods in his garden actually produced 80% of the peas. The more he thought about this concept, the more he began to see this concept play out in just about every area of life and business. I actually just did a quick survey over at our business, and it's absolutely true in so many ways. 20% of our customers produce 80% of our revenue. 20% of our sales team closes 80% of our sales. 20% of our ads generate 80% of our revenue. And the list goes on and on and on and on and on. But here's the really funny thing about this 80-20 principle that seems to go relatively unnoticed, right? Everyone loves to talk about how to, like everyone loves to talk about the 80-20 rule, but nobody really seems to know how to actually apply it. You ever been around people like that? They talk about things, but they don't really know how to apply it. I mean, look, it's great that you know that 80% of your time, resources, and advertising are just spinning wheels, costing time and money, serving absolutely no purpose in your business. But when you go to cut those things out, it becomes almost impossible. Now, why is that? Why is it so hard to trim the fat in our business when we know it's what we need to do? I have the answer, I think, and you're not going to like it, but it's exactly why I need to tell it to you. But you have to promise me something here, okay? The second this starts to hit really close to home, just remember that these are things that I'm preaching to myself as well. These are things that I'm working on in my own life as well, okay? So by no means am I perfect. All right, so you ready? The reason we can't cut what's bad for our business is because we barely cut out what's bad for us in our life. Think about that. You can't expect to apply for your business what you aren't applying in the rest of your life. You can't expect to make critical decisions for your business that positively affect the outcome if you don't already make those same kind of decisions in your day-to-day life. Here's what I mean by that. Think about the 80-20 principle and how it applies not just to your business, but to your life. Ask yourself, okay? What's the food I eat 80% of the time? What are the clothes that I wear 80% of the time? Who are the 20% of the people in my life that actually make me happy? Or what relationships provide 80% of my stress? You get the picture? My guess is you can probably answer those questions pretty easily. I know that I can. And when you do, you begin to see things clearly. You begin to answer questions like, what hobbies of mine do I need to get rid of? What possessions do I need to sell or give away? Which friends do I need to cut out of my life? And alternatively, you also start saying, what do I need to invest more in? Where do I need to spend more of my time? What hobbies need to be my go-to versus my I'll do it later hobbies? Thinking about this kind of stuff is the easy part, but actually committing to it is pretty tough, right? I'm telling you, unless you can make these changes in your life, it's going to be nearly impossible to do them in your business. I've seen so many digital marketers get sucked down the rabbit hole of constantly posting on Facebook or trying to make Facebook ads work when they're not right for their business, or they're working with the wrong clients or creating the wrong types of products. And then I look at their life and I think, wow, no wonder they can barely say no to the toxic stuff in their daily life. How can they magically transform their thinking when it comes to their business? All right, well, I think that's enough tough love for me today, okay? Just remember, these are things that I'm working on improving myself. I'm just as guilty as every single person listening to this. But my challenge is, please listen, if you're watching or you're listening to this and you truly want to make an impact in your business, make a list of ways that you can 80-20 your life okay? And then make a list of ways that you can 80-20 your business. And my advice to you is do both. Don't just go for the easy wins. Challenge yourself to focus on the 20% of your actions that produce the results and maximize the time that you spend on those. I know that I have done that in 2020. 2020 has faced, we've all been faced with just an insanity, right? And I've taken a step back and I've looked at my life and I've said, okay, I have these habits, right, that are not really producing happiness, or they're not producing, healthy lifestyles, or they're not producing revenue in my business, or there's this one thing that I'm doing over here that's not helping me over here. And I really try to figure out what are the 80% of the things that I'm doing that are not only not contributing to my success, but also might be hurting it, right? I'll give you some examples. You'll probably laugh at some of these. The number one thing is probably the way that I eat. 80% of the time, I eat crappy food. Might be 90%. I might be fudging the 80-20 rule. It might actually be 90%. I eat pizza every day, sometimes twice a day. Every single night before bed, I ate a bowl of cereal, sometimes 2 bowls of cereal. This is not healthy cereal. We're talking Cocoa Puffs, Captain Crunch, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Fruit Loops. If your children are eating it, it's probably in my pantry. And just terrible stuff. Then here's the thing. So 80% of the time I ate crappy food. That contributed to stomach aches and sluggishness and feeling bad and no energy and all of these things in my life, which also then not only wasn't contributing to the 20% that, that's helping me as an entrepreneur, as a husband, or whatever the case may be, but it was actually bringing me down. It was dragging me down. It was making life difficult for me. So I made a change. I cut that whole 80% out. I only eat prepared meals, meals that are delivered to me twice a week. And I eat the same type of stuff: fresh green beans, baked potatoes, fish, baked fish, good food, right? That's all I eat. I don't drink anything except water now. That is it. That's the only thing I do. I have focused on my food intake, right? Because I know that it was affecting my energy output, which would affect how well I do in business, how active I am as a husband and a friend and all of these things. And it's completely transformed and changed my life. I've gained 24 pounds, all muscle, so I'm not gaining fat. I've gained 24 pounds. I fall asleep better. I have way more energy throughout the day. I feel better. My stomach never hurts. I never feel sick. And here's the thing. I focused on the 20%, right, of my eating that was good, right? And I expanded that to probably 98%. I'm not going to lie, I eat a cookie every now and again. But for the most part, I eat really well. And it's helped me throughout my entire business. The same thing has happened with my business. I used to struggle to keep up with all of the different things we do. And now what I've done is I've put other people on those things. I focus on the 20% that I'm really good at, the 20% that I can really focus on and see results from. And that other 80%, I either cut it out of our business or I put somebody else on it, right? And I focus on the 20% that's made a huge difference. This whole pandemic thing has really allowed me to take a step back and look at life, look at business, and really see this 80-20 playing out in all areas. And it's funny, once I was able to see the 80% of my personal life that was not great, right? And it doesn't just stop at food. There's other things too. And I was able to start making changes there. It really was easier for me to do the same thing in my business. I do think that you have to be in alignment. If you're going to 80-20 your life and you're going to try to focus on the 20% that's getting you the best results, the 20% that's driving most of your revenue, the 20% that's creating most of your happiness, right? Then it has to be done both in your business and in your personal life, and you have to be in alignment across both because they're always going to cross over, right? So I think it's very, very important. I hope this message has kind of sparked your interest in evaluating your own life and your own business and finding that the list of those things that fit the 80-20 rule, right? And maybe, you don't have to be like an all or nothing, but maybe you can find a way to kind of push some of that 80% stuff away and focus on some of the 20%, and you'll start to see you'll be a happier person. You'll have a better marriage. You'll have a better relationship. You'll be a more active person. You'll be a healthier person. And ultimately, if you're a business person, you'll probably be a more successful person, right? Hopefully this message has helped you. I look forward to sharing messages with you just like this each and every week right here on my podcast. So make sure to tune in next week for the next episode of the Unlock Success Podcast.